Turning now to the mystery surrounding unidentified objects in the skies. The U.S. military shot down objects high above the Earth 3 days in a row, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They were over Alaska, Canada's Yukon territory, and Lake Huron. This after a Chinese spy balloon was shot down more than a week ago off the coast of South Carolina. We're going to bring in retired Air Force Brigadier General too much time in Italy, Robert Spalding. He's the former Senior Director of National Strategy for the National Security Council and the CEO of the tech security firm Sempra. Thanks very much for joining us, General. Is the first question here, is the U.S. doing enough to protect itself from surveillance? Seem to be having a hard time hearing the general. I don't know if you can, if you might be on
mute.
Sorry. Mute. There we go. It's like these office Zooms.
General Van, sorry about that.
We all know what it's like to be able to try to hit the mute button, and you can't stop.
Right.
So go ahead.
So
sorry.
as General Van Herk has stated in testimony in Congress last week, we have been neglecting Homeland Security to the exclusion of all the things that we've been doing overseas. So there's a lot of things that we need to do in terms of spending on Homeland Security. And that's what he told Congress, when they complained, hey, why are we having these problems? Well, we probably need to invest a little bit in terms of securing the homeland.
And I wonder whether you can speak at all to the newest piece in this story, which happened this weekend. One of the objects shot down was over Canada's Yukon territory. Talk to us a bit about why the U.S. military would get involved in that country.
Well, we have a treaty with Canada, a North American Air Defense Treaty, and that means that, and this started during the Cold War. Obviously, we were worried about Soviet bombers and Soviet ICBMs then. But the treaty remains, and we work very closely with the Canadians to defend both of our borders. And the reason is typically if you're looking at bombers or ICBMs, they're going to be coming from the direction of Canada into the United States. And so we need to work very closely together to defend both borders.
Democratic Congressman Jim Himes talked yesterday on Meet the Press about the absence of information about these objects and the issue of misinformation. How concerned are you about that?
Well, I think we have to certainly wait and see what the analysis brings on these things. The radar systems are typically tuned so that you don't get false alarms. Well, when the Chinese flew this giant, surveillance balloon over the entirety of the United States, they started to turn off some of those settings. And now all of a sudden we're starting to see these things that have maybe been drifting over for quite some time. We need to, the government needs to collect these, analyze them, and tell us, the American people, they need to tell the American people what they're doing or what they think they're doing.
Yeah, can we take a listen to what Jim Himes said yesterday?
I sort of see a pattern. As I looked at social media this morning, all of a sudden, massive speculation about alien invasions and, additional Chinese action or Russian action. In the absence of information, people's anxiety leads them into potentially destructive areas. So I do hope that very soon the administration has a lot more information for all of us on what's going on.
So to your point about uncertainty, do you believe the U.S. is best communicating what's happening with citizens here?
Just like I have been waiting to see, what the outcome of the analysis is. So I think the more we get out to the public, at least in terms of what we understand today, the better it is, because otherwise, absolutely, you're going to see social media explode with all kinds of crazy notions like aliens and what have you.
Are you hearing anything from your sources about how long that process might take, when we might hear something?
Well, I mean, I think they're still in the recovery, phase of this. So they have to get the stuff picked up, then they have to get it transmitted to wherever they're going to do the analysis. Of course, you have to ensure that it's properly cared for in that transit so it doesn't, corrode or, have any of the evidence lost off of it. So it's not I have been in aircraft accident investigations before. It's not an easy process, and it does take some time. But I do think that we need to have interim reports as they do, understand more of what's going on.
And as we're still learning more about this picture of potential foreign surveillance, I want to ask about whether we are considering all the factors here, because the discussion certainly has been around these balloons or flying objects. Are we doing enough to protect ourselves when it comes to social media?
Oh, absolutely not. Let's just use TikTok as one example. TikTok is used by the Chinese Communist Party for misinformation and for influence. And, it's also a tool for really slowing down productivity, not just, in America, but all over. If you look in China, they only allow the kids to be on it for 40 minutes. And here, people will be on it for hours because the algorithms are, designed to release dopamine in the brain. So I think not just that, but they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook. And, we have millions of what they call 50-cent armies. So all of that is designed to, increase the level of division within our society, because what they want to do, what the Chinese Communist Party wants to do ultimately is to get Americans and other citizens of democracies to lose faith and confidence in their system as a reliable system. And China believes if we have a more authoritarian world, it makes it safe for the Chinese Communist Party to continue to rule in the way that they choose to rule China.
Okay, a fascinating conversation. We'll have to leave it there for this hour. General Robert Spalding, thanks so much for your time and sharing your perspective on this.
Thank you.